Welcome back, guys, to the Skeptics Podcast. I know it's been a while.
Been a while.
We've been on all kind of trips, just
Trips.
grinding,
Grinding.
just picking up. Just kidding, dudes. Um, but there's been a lot of junk happen
A lot of junk.
in the last 3 weeks, and we're getting closer and closer to what some believe may be World War III, Civil War. You never know.
I doubt it.
So it's going to be a very interesting podcast today. John Boy, how you doing?
Feeling pretty good.
John is ready to answer some questions, so we're going to have a great one today.
Yeah, I came in energized up. I'm fresh off of a conversation.
That's right.
Just a deep one, so we're in here.
So, hopping right into it, hope everybody has a great day so far. I hope you get a lot out of this podcast. This is just two regular dudes going to be talking about some stuff that's going on in the world and what we think should happen. Hopefully, it solves the world's problems. Never know. Going into it, something happened yesterday. Was it yesterday or 3 days ago? I don't even know what the date is, to be honest
I'm
with
not
you.
sure.
But there was another assassination attempt on Donald, and from what we know so far, we're actually getting the information on this one way quicker than we're getting information on the other guy. This guy is still alive, to my knowledge. They actually caught him.
Yep.
Afterwards, they chased him down.
Yeah.
This was at his golf course. I think it's when it happened.
I don't know if it was his. I heard it was at a golf course.
It was at a golf course. And I was reading something from the Wall Street Journal, and I'll take that from what it is. It's just some place that you can check and then do deeper investigation after that. There was a couple shots fired. From the picture, it looks like it was an SKS.
No way.
I swear. Wall Street Journal first said that it was a AK-47. Looking at the picture, from what I think, and having one before, looked like it was an SKS.
Yeah.
It had a scope on it, and if anybody knows, SKSs are really not that accuratized. Accuratized. Had a big old clip on it too, like 30 rounder.
Oh yeah.
Had two bags hanging up in front of him that had plates in it. So if there was receiving fire, I guess he was trying to get out of it then. The man was 60 or 50 something years old. My bad on that. I had his name. Ryan Roth, I think's his name. He was 50 something. And this guy's really interesting. Like, he's had warrants out for him before. So he's obviously done crime. Figuring out now that he got the gun illegally. So this wasn't even legal. And 2 years prior, he's a big follower of Ukraine. And he literally said in the video that he lived in Hawaii.
Yep.
He came here for some reason that he was going to talk about soon. Now, granted, this was 2 years ago.
Right.
And he says that he believes that we are doing Ukraine wrong and we should support them more when we've sent billions of dollars to them at this point.
Right.
So anyway, that was a little interesting. Be sure to fact check me on all that, because I might have got something missed wrong there, and I don't want to just tell y'all something that's completely fake. But I think most of that is pretty close to being the truth.
Yeah.
From what we're hearing, at least. So, the question I wanted to ask you, as we talked about this before, and when we sat down here, you didn't know a whole bunch about the topic itself.
Right. And so I think that's a good thing real quick just to point out. It's like, I'm pretty fresh on this. Like, I heard there was another attempt. I heard it was at a golf course. That's pretty much what I know. I just want to put that out there. So, like, that's my baseline.
So, with this being the second attempt now.
Yeah.
What's your whole feelings about this?
Man, I was thinking about this quite a bit. And I think we have too much hate going on right now. You even met an individual recently, I think me and you discussed this, who said they hated Donald Trump. Is that right?
Yep.
That's crazy. You don't even know him.
Right.
I mean, that's fine. You don't have to like his policies. You don't have to like him as a guy. You don't have to like anything. But to hate, I think we got a lot of that going around right now. And I think it's just insane to just be like, oh, I disagree. I'm on this side. I hate you. Everybody on that side, I hate. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And
that's wild.
Dude, I think that's what's getting us to these points.
Yeah.
People are, for some reason, resorting to just like they're skipping a whole like area. They're going straight to hate and violence.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just being like agree to disagree, being very civil and uh, what's the right term? I would say even American because like
I know, I agree. And it's hilarious that this guy, he said that we've been treating Ukraine unfairly and that we should treat them better. His version of better is just trying to take out someone, just kill essentially an innocent guy for what we know. It's not like Trump's over there shooting people or doing anything like that, or Trump's not actually not even the one making the decision on the Ukraine thing now that I think about it. So it's interesting to see a character that hates a man so much that he's going to do that.
yeah.
Or was this guy a character that really believed for some reason that Donald Trump was just the was about to bring our country to the end?
That's another thing is like there's a lot of people who think things are that bad, and I think we've touched on this slightly in a previous talk on this platform, and that's the part where I'm still really held up. I don't think it's to the point where it's all just going to come crumbling down. You know, it. I think it's going to take a lot more time if there's going to be a fall per se. I put quotation marks for you're just listening to this. Uh,
So you
because I don't think it's just going to happen overnight. I don't think Kamala Harris is going to become the president and everything's just going to go hell. I don't think Donald Trump's going to become the president. Everything's just going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just going to be like the flip of a switch. It may be for some individuals who hate the other side. Like
right?
for them, they're like, if this happens, I hate these people and I'm going to make this happen.
Do you think with either side, and I'm curious to hear what you're going to say about this, and you could throw a percentage for either one. Is there one or another that you think would be more likely to get us into a war? And even if it's not with ourselves, I'm not saying like a Boston Tea Party, we're about to rise up and throw a fit over taxes.
Right.
I mean, with another country. Do you think that there is one that is more capable of getting us in an altercation than the other one? Or do you think it's about half and half?
I think it's about half and half from what I've seen recently, just with a lot of the radicalized type media stuff I've been seeing and things like that that just you can't avoid at this time period probably because we're coming up on an election.
If you
It's increasing the amount I'm seeing, but I don't know if there's one that's truly more capable than the other when it comes to like trying to start something. I think they're both equally trying to start something in their own way.
do you have an opinion on what that thing is you think that they're trying to start?
Well, I don't think they're trying to start a war with any other country right now. Neither side. I don't think either side wants that. Whether they think this way or that way. I don't think nobody wants to have to be at war with Russia or China or any of the other adversaries. And I'll call them adversaries, whatever. And or any other adversaries that we may have out in the world who we're competing with. I don't think any of us like. It's cool if we're competing. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Who's got more boats? Who's got this? That's great. Who's got the best technology? Competition's healthy, sweet. But I don't think anybody's actively trying to like. Not from the civilian side, I should say. Like I don't think there's any civilians or people who aren't in politics or anything like that, like regular Joes, like me and you, okay, who are gonna vote one way or the other that are looking to start something. There may be.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. No, I don't think the everyday guy.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them want war.
So
Now, what you've said before, and I agree with you on this.
yeah, what you got?
One of the biggest money makers in the world is war.
Oh, the Great War Machine.
Uh,
Yes.
is there a group that you think is more powerful than another? Like if John's laying in bed one night,
Yeah.
and John's like, if there was an enemy that attacked us now, who would be the worst? Do you have one of those in mind?
like one of them that's a current option?
I would say so.
Who's going to attack us?
Would you be more worried about here? Here, I'll make it a little bit easier. Would you be more worried about China,
Yeah.
Russia, or Iran attacking us out of those three?
Out of those three, based off of numbers, we're going to go off numbers. I would say China
Okay.
because they have the manpower to fight just for an extended period of time and to bring the fight, like to bring it to you.
Right.
Like if you take the fight to them, you're up.
Well, one of the things that a lot of people's talking about right now, depending on who gets in office, is Taiwan. We help out a bunch,
Right.
and if China tries to move in to take Taiwan,
Yep.
we believe that that will be an altercation that will start a war.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's claimed to be right now is during Donald Trump. Now, this is facts. You can fact check me on this. There was no wars. Now, there was no wars that was big stuff like we have going on now. I'm sure there's little proxy things popping up everywhere. Heck, Iran, I think, has been fighting Saudi Arabia now for who knows how long. I mean, one of those two, I'm sure, is in an altercation all the time because they literally want terror. So, with either one of them coming up to the plate, I think there could very much be a chance that something's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen on our end
No.
unless all these immigrants that we've let in all this time decides that they want to flip the switch. And it'll still be hard.
I doubt that. Just saying. But
I don't know. I'm not even saying the Mexicans. I'm saying like all the Chinese people that we've let in, all the Iranian people that we live all that because there's already been accounts now stopping people at the border saying essentially I'm a terrorist and you'll know my name one day. That exact the terrorist part wasn't in there, but there was a guy that was like, and we figured out that he was a terrorist, and he was like, the U.S. will know my name one day. So that's the only thing that kind of makes me wonder is just one day if we're all at work and next thing I know, bomb goes off here, bomb goes off here, bomb goes off here, and then we're trying to figure out why. And then not only is it we can't blame China, we can't blame Russia, we can't blame this guy. It's just random. It's just saying, hey, I'm about to tear it up. The fear of like an uprising happening if one or the other gets picked doesn't really scare me that much because everybody around here I think is pretty sane. Now up in Washington or something, I don't know how that could go down. It'd be kind of nuts. But with the Trump assassination attempt happening again, he actually said this time that his Secret Service did very well. Like they kept him safe. Nobody was harmed at all. If you were the head of Trump's Social Security unit or Social Secret Security unit, all of our Social Security numbers are given to the public at this point. How would you direct him, or what advice would you give him going forward until November?
I think this is going to be kind of like I guess you'd call it like a hot take. You know, like people aren't going to agree so much because
That's fine.
Because I feel like they're going to, it's going to be the opposite, whatever I say. But if I was the security advisor, I'd tell him, dude, we got to keep you on like a schedule, okay?
Okay.
So I need to know where we're going to be going for what kind of events, what kind of fundraisers, what kind of rallies, what kind of etc. Okay? I need a list of that if they don't already have one, which I would think they would.
I would figure they definitely do.
But then I would need it to go to the nth degree. Let's break it down. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say this week you want to go play golf. All right. Well, I need to know Sunday so that Friday we can already have like done a whole bunch of work to make sure you're going to be safe. That's the kind of stuff. That's the level I'm going to be doing. And I would say that if possible, if you would take my advice, please, we need to keep from doing any unneeded activities. Anything that's not necessary, let's try and refrain from doing for now
Mhm.
because it seems like we're at a high risk point. So let's let it cool off for a little bit before we start really making just normal trips again.
Okay, so for your normal trips,
Yeah.
or are you saying like would you stop him from doing rallies?
No, that's what I'm saying. So stuff like that, anything that's already on the books,
Okay,
we gotta be doing these things. Okay, we're running for a presidency.
right.
This would go for anybody who's running for a presidency, right? You've got to be on the road. You've got to be winning votes.
Yep.
So that stuff, oh, dude, I tell them, look, we're gonna double down at every event. We're gonna double down in these areas, and this is I would literally write out a plan. Like, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna have available to us. These are gonna be our assets. And for stuff like that, I would just already have it planned. I would plan every rally from here out.
The last, I don't know if it was the last one, but if it was one before, they actually had him stand behind bulletproof glass. That's awesome.
Yeah, see, like
They
that's a plan. That's an asset.
everybody can see him.
Yeah.
It works out good. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Nope.
The whether it be, I'm actually not going to say because I don't really know. I was watching a video from the Wall Street Journal again this morning, and there was a man talking up there about his team when it happened to Trump. And he said the reason why the area was not secure as much, even more to that so, is you have to remember that he is not the president of the United States.
Right.
He is just somebody running to be the president of the United States.
Right.
So the thing that I'm thinking about this, and I'm not really sure, maybe Trump's doing it now. I don't really know, but I this guy's got enough money at this point. He ought to just get like the private sectors involved on this. Now I don't know how you would do that with the government that he's already getting given.
Right.
I don't know if you just lay off the government and just I don't know if you could even do that, but I'm sure you could really have everything locked down if you had more people.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to pay for the more people, but I do give the guy credit though. Like you literally got shot at before, and you're just gonna go play golf out in the middle of just like you don't have a care in the world.
Well, here's the thought process on that. Two things I think of instantly. Is there a false sense of security with having that security task force that creates that mentality, or does he not care? That's the two things you got to ask yourself. Does he not care? Does he think I don't think it'll happen again, or is it I think these guys have got it down. I don't have to worry about it.
I almost think it's to not care.
And the reason why I called it a false sense of security is because technically, I mean, it can't be 100%.
Yeah,
There's always like a slight percentage something could happen.
of course.
I mean, who knows? You can be struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Like it might be less than a percent. It could be like a point something.
Yeah,
But there is a room for error.
yeah. I just think at this moment he's just like F it. He's like I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and nobody's stopping me. And I got mad respect for that.
More power to you.
And the only reason I think that is because he thought right after getting shot the first time is I'm gonna put my hand in the air and yell fight. That's crazy. That's insane, dude.
Is it though? Because I feel
Yes.
like that's the I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a mentality that we've been on.
Dude, I think that's it.
Does that make sense? Like I'm saying like we were already he was already on that.
I know, but this solidifies it. This means this dude was not lying. He's like, I literally got shot in the ear.
Yeah.
And I'm getting taped off the stage.
Right.
And I'd say, hold up 1 minute. I'm about to say, we're fighting for this.
Right.
That's the coolest thing ever. Like, I got a shirt about it. Shout out to Comrade. But, man, dude, the other thing that I was going to ask you, though, is imagine being Donald Trump's kids.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you say, Dad, I value your life so much that I don't think we should be putting you in this position? Because I don't know the last time somebody's had an assassination attempt, maybe Reagan. that was president,
maybe.
let alone 2, before you're even president.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I said this in like 2 podcasts ago that I figured he would try to get taken out again. So now it's twice.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop once he becomes president, if he does become president. Maybe up the security through the max, and then nobody messes with you at this point. But I don't see with this guy claiming
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is the worst. He's going to destroy our entire country. When he's in office, if he's in office, I don't see it. Him just switching the mindset, saying, "Oh, we're in what we're in." People like him, at least.
Right.
I mean, it's like we have to stop this.
Well, that was my point I was getting at, right? Is where do you have to be at mentally to think it's so bad that because you have to I think you have to look at it relatively.
I don't
okay?
think he thinks it's so bad. I think he thinks it's gonna be so bad.
Well, see, but that's another thing right there. You can't think, "Oh, it's gonna be bad."
Well,
and,
I don't.
and say, "Oh, I'm gonna act on a hunch."
Well, I don't. I don't think you can even do it with the track record.
Well, I'm just saying, like in general, you can't. Like, it's different if you say, "All right, we're gonna ride this out." 2 years in, you genuinely think it's terrible, right? And you're like, inflation's up and this and yet whatever,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm gonna do something about it.
Okay.
At least then, you're like, you have like some reasoning. But if you're like, I just think it's going to be, I just think this is going to be the end. That's crazy.
Well, brother,
Oh, because you hate the guy and you think he's going to ruin it for you?
brother, these people claim that July 6th was just as bad as 9/11. The day Trump lost the pregnancy. That's good. Uh, the the day, I guess it had been Biden. I guess. Uh, and everybody was heading to the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Trump literally said, "Everything peaceful. We don't want nothing bad." And then we had people at this point confirmed has been escorted into the state Capitol building at this point. Not breaking down stuff. Now there was some people that vandalized some stuff. I will say that. But there was people that was escorted in this building, and they claim that it was one of the worst riots that's ever happened. That it's just as bad as 9/11.
It was, don't get me wrong. I do think it was,
so you imagine
part of it's bad.
one person died. One person.
2 people.
Was it 2?
Yep. A regular person and a cop.
And how'd the cop die? I don't even think it was.
I think they crushed him to death. The mob.
I thought it was a she.
Or she. The she's the one that got shot. I thought it was a he who got crushed.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But I can see if you were a man that believed in something so much that you needed to act on it. I think every man should actually be that way. There's some things that you should believe in that nobody should ever change. It's like we talk about. If the ATF shows up at my house one day, I don't want to shoot no one.
Right.
But if push comes to shove, he better take 5 minutes, go outside and call his wife, and tell him, her, whatever, that he loves her, because it's not going to be good after that. Because that's something that I stand on. And if this is something that guy stands on, good job, Secret Service,
right,
for stopping the threat. But if you believe that something like that was so bad that it compares to 9/11, I can see why somebody would be like, we got to, if this guy gets back in office, stuff like this is going to happen.
right.
When in reality, you're like, dog, the amount of people that died in 9/11 compared to January 6th,
Yeah,
is a whole different ballgame. And we're talking terrorist attack.
yeah. That's,
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But if your mind is like that, like it seems like this fella's is, I mean, how do you even talk? sense into that. And
But
I'm not saying.
that was my point at the beginning. Is the people who are so far gone on either side, either way.
Yeah.
How do you bring that back? How do you reel those people back in? Because those people,
You got love
they
and
are one track minded at that point.
love and compassion, man. I've seen more people. Now this is me reading. I've seen more people this year turn from one side to the other. Even though I do agree with you, most of the MAGA people is going to stay with the MAGA, and then most of the people in Democrats are going to stay with the Democrats. The independents in the middle is the ones that's going to make it or break it.
But really, how many of those are there?
I don't know. I don't know what it even means to be an independent anymore. I would say anybody that was independent at the time was probably voting for Kennedy. Now Kennedy's went to Trump. So how many of Kennedy's people moved over to Trump? That's what I'm saying. They're not going to sit there and vote for Kennedy anymore. He's not even president anymore.
Right.
So I think that people that's actually independents probably don't call themselves independent. I'd probably say they've got a side right now, but they're always curious. As what everybody should be. I would actually I'd much rather you be cut away from being a Republican and a Democrat.
Yeah.
And just everybody be independent,
Yeah.
and then just choose the side you want at the very end.
Yeah.
And then at that year you can say, hey, I chose a Republican or I chose a Democrat. I know it doesn't matter what you are. I mean, you're just a person at the end of the day.
Right.
So I don't really understand that, but I think that's what it is. But it seems like this year I've seen more people move, and you know what caused a lot of people to move?
What?
The felony thing. When Donald Trump essentially became a felony, I saw more people ever, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, say, this is BS. I'm voting for Trump. I haven't seen any other thing saying, I've never met anybody that's went from, say, a Trump to Kamala. Be very interesting to meet that person.
Right.
Because it seems like a lot of people that's voting for Kamala, and I don't know her as a person. She might be real sweet. I don't know. I don't think so, but she might be. I've never heard anybody vote for Kamala that doesn't hate Trump. But I've heard a bunch of people that vote for Trump that doesn't hate Kamala. Remember me and you kind of talking about that? I think it was
maybe it was a little bit, maybe.
Me and Connor. It seems like the people that vote for Kamala hate Trump, and it seems like the people that vote for Trump don't hate Kamala. They just like Trump. I mean, I don't hate Kamala. I mean, I made it clear who I'm voting for.
Right.
But I mean, I don't hate her. I don't know her. I mean,
right.
It's that thing Tom Holland says. He goes, if you got a problem with me and you don't have my phone number, then you don't know me enough to have a problem with me. I don't like her policies, and I think she's done some shady stuff in the past. Now, do I think Donald Trump's done some shady stuff in the past? Sure, he has. But the dude gave us 4 years without a war. I could go get gas for $2. I was like, it didn't seem like I had to look at my bank account every single time. Theo Vaughn's cousin bought a boat. So, yeah, dude, it's a wild setup. But the thing that's interesting right now, and we were talking about this earlier,
Yeah.
is not only with Trump but with everybody, how you manage the work life and you manage the personal life,
Right.
and how you place it all together.
Right.
And I'm sure at Donald Trump's point at this time, I don't. His family life and work life is probably interchanged. I mean, it's got to be. I figure at this point, because
right now for him, I would figure it's more work life.
yeah, for sure,
I mean, just based off of what he's gunning for.
right.
Like you got to be all in.
I wonder how he breaks that apart. Like oh, not many. If any big people out there are ever watching this, like big podcast people, when you interview Donald Trump, somebody ought to just ask him how he is. How's his family? I don't know if anybody's ever asked him that for a long time. I asked a recent friend of mine that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you okay?" She sat there and told me. So I was like, even these big people. I think Theo Vaughn might have actually asked him, but that's because Theo literally called him bro and stuff. It was the coolest thing ever. But knocking it down to just the simple. Well, I say simple. Nothing's simple really anymore, but it is at the same time. It's a weird world. For like the everyday person, how how do we keep a balance? How would you say? Or what's some things that you do?
Well,
Or are you terrible at it?
I think I'm terrible at it, actually, if you want the truth. I don't think I manage my work personal life balance like I should. I think I crush it in the work life. I think my work life I decimate. I think I show up, I, I'm I'm just all go, and I get the results that my boss and his boss, etc. I get the results they want. I'm making the progress at work that I expect from myself and that others expect from me. You know, I'm checking a lot of boxes off on things that I think I should be doing. I'm progressing at a good rate, etc., etc. Whereas in my personal life, I feel like I've taken such a lackadaisical, relaxed approach that you have moments where you feel like nothing's happening, and you're like, should I feel this way? Should it be okay to take that approach, or should I be trying to just grab the bull by the horns in my personal life as well? You know, and then you have to ask yourself, are there stages to that? Like maybe you're not ready.
I think there's stages.
Maybe right now it's all work for you. You're focused on work.
Yeah.
And
That's what Andrew Tate says.
and then at some point you get to a point where you're focused on other things, your personal life, you
Yeah.
know, and doing things outside of work. And that's where I think I struggle personally. I think I don't organize that time like I probably could or should, where it would actually increase my performance in all areas of my life. Like if I manage that time better, the time I spend with you, the time I spend with my family, the time I spend for myself, if I manage that better, then I would probably see more growth in those areas the same way I do at work.
Two questions. Let's ask the first one.
Yep.
Why is it that you think that? Where's that coming from?
Well, a lot of this stuff is going to be self-evaluation. When you sit, I had some time in the deer stand the other day. You're sitting there, you got nothing but your thoughts, and waiting on some deers to show up. It was an early 2-day buck. If anybody's curious, I think 28th is when archery opens here in our state. So, a little tidbit for you. But I'm also very introspective person. I'm always looking inside, and I'm thinking about what I'm doing, and am I on the right path?
Okay.
Am I putting time towards the things that I should be?
Okay, but does it go deeper than that? Why are you thinking that? What is it that you're seeing, or what is it that's telling you that you're not doing it right?
Just thinking about life as a whole, I think, and thinking about, man, it goes quick.
Very.
And so when you look at it through that lens of it's already flying by, when you look at it that way, it's like you're halfway over, and so you feel like there's these things that you haven't even done yet or accomplished yet as an individual. That should I be? Should I make that more of a priority? And you have to question yourself. Have I made good choices, or should I have focused my time and energy in a different area? And should I have made other choices in other areas?
I don't know if I would. This is just me. I don't know if I would focus much now on the should I have done that because it's already done. There's nothing you're changing.
Right, but now that that's all past you,
Yeah.
what should you do with what you have left? Because just a second ago, it's already gone.
Right.
So it's always a forward momentum.
Well, I think it comes down to the hardest question: is what do you want?
Right.
It's like,
So you have to be able to sit down and actually find that out for yourself.
Charlie Kirk was interviewing a guy at college, and he said, "What are you good at?" He was asking this guy. This guy said, "I like talking." He goes, "I like debates, stuff like that." He goes, "Good, you're 1% of America now because you actually know what you want to do, or you actually know what you're good at, and
Right.
you know what you can do."
Right.
And I think that probably goes back to the big question: is what do you want? And I think you figure out throughout life how bad you really, really want something. Because if you really, really want something, you'll probably be thinking about it a bunch. That's like, man, I've told you that one thing about buying stuff.
Mm.
Like if I want something, I wait 6 months.
Yeah.
And then if I still think about it in 6 months, I'll give it another 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And after that 6 months of the year, then if I'm still thinking about it, I can start saving up some money for it. And then once you start getting some little money in your hand, you're saying, hey, I could buy this, I could buy this, or I could buy this. Then you probably don't want that thing that bad. If you can put all that money in that one spot and you say, I want this, then it's going to build up and you're going to get it.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm doing that.
Exactly. So just think that same thing into your personal life. And then you think the same way I guess into anything. If there is something that you really want, you'll always find some kind of way to take a step towards it, even though you might go step backwards sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you're still thinking about it constantly, if you think about it almost every single day,
Mm-hmm.
I would say you're making a way towards it. Even if you don't think you are.
So that's the part there. That's the part I think that I struggle with. Is let's say I am making baby steps because sometimes, Lord knows, I can dive all in on one thing and it'll take me a million baby steps to get to the other.
So how many things have you dived into and then you look at now and you're like, that really wasn't worth it? A lot of things. It's happened to me.
Yeah, I can definitely count a couple, a few. But I think you also have to think, looking at it through that lens, like, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I knew what I wanted on the work side, and I knew what my work drive looked like, and it was easy. It came to me very naturally. The drive and the want and the now. Did I know what that path looked like? No, I didn't know where I was going to end up, but I knew that if I kept at it as hard and as
What was
passionate as I did,
what was the want though? What was the want?
I think success at the time.
Okay, so what is your level of success? And will it always continue to grow? Will you ever even catch it?
See, that's the thing, right? Because if you're always chasing, I feel like you're going to come to a day. Okay,
Well, you won't ever catch it.
that's my point. I think
Yeah.
you're going to come to a day when you're about dead, and you're going to sit back and you're going to think about your life in two ways. You're either going to say, "Man, I gave it my all," or you're going to sit there and think, "That sucks. I never made it." That's the two attitudes, I think. Any other attitude is just a subcategory for those two attitudes.
Maybe. Uh, I don't know. I'm still thinking on it. Because there's a lot of things that I'm not successful at, but it doesn't like really hurt me. And that's probably one of the flaws of me. That's probably why I'll never be a real rich guy, is because I'm not a competitive person. It's like if you win, you're better than me. That's what it is. It was like, I'll try, but if you beat me, you win.
Right.
Now, I if I always look at something, and it's like especially if I'm competing against another person, I'm under the mentality of if I didn't win, it was something that I probably didn't do. It wasn't because of that person.
Right.
And right after that, if I don't feel bad for losing, that's just not my thing. It was like that bodybuilding competition. I didn't get first in anything, but man, I had a good time and I like watching those other people.
Yeah.
I'm okay with losing that. Ain't no thing.
Right.
And it's what I've come to now with working out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'll never be 215 pounds, 8% body fat, lean all the time. It just ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Um, but I can try to take care of myself as much as I can without hurting myself.
Right. Yeah.
There's not. there's not an there's not an end goal. Now that I think about it, it's just habit. You just do it.
So that's another thing, right? You build these habits and you build these processes, or you're in this state of continuous improvement, right?
Or maybe not. If I don't ever get any bigger, did I really improve?
You may not improve the muscle,
Right.
but you may improve your ability to move the weight, or you may improve your mentality towards the whatever it is at the time.
Correct, but I won't always improve. There's no way I'll get older. The
I asked you that the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one thing Tucker Carlson said, and the older I'm getting, the more I'm figuring it out. The goal is to get old. That's the goal of life.
Yeah.
For an individual person is to get old. Now there's other things. I don't know if happy should be used as the word all the time. I think fulfilled should be the word.
Fulfilled, yeah.
And I think you figure out that there's a lot of things that is not that important that probably ends up, or there's a lot of things that's not important as in like world terms
Right.
that ends up making you feel fulfilled. Like, I don't have millions of dollars, but it's like I got a good wife, got a good dog, got friends. Said, I mean, there's always things I could want. That
Oh.
one thing that I'm talking about that I keep 6 months, 6 months, 6 months
Mm-hmm.
is a Lexus. That's the one thing that saving up money that I will have one day, hopefully.
Yeah.
Unless God tells me I can't for some reason, He'll put me in a Toyota and I'll probably be fine. But I don't know if it's really healthy in the end to have a set goal.
But I feel like that goes against everything that everybody always
That's
teaches.
what I'm saying. I also believe, going back to what you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
the reason you're feeling like this is because you're seeing other stuff around you happen that's things that could possibly be yours one day. Like you like your brothers having twins.
Yeah.
That makes you think, when am I gonna have chillins?
Yeah.
When a friend of yours gets married, you're like, when am I gonna get married? When a friend of yours gets a Corvette Z06, when am I gonna get a Corvette? I think it's other things around you, and this goes with everybody. This goes with me. Like, I see something on Instagram and I'm like, dude, I want that.
Right.
But I don't know if that's should be the mindset. I do think there's things that drives you, but I think you really have to look deep on what that thing is that drives you, because the fake thing that drives you will fade out.
Right.
Like if you see a 11 out of 10 chick on Instagram,
Yeah.
and you guarantee that you're gonna get one that looks just like that, well, everybody's different.
I've got a perfect segue from that. Just on that same topic. I was watching Tom Segura the other day.
My man.
Oh yeah. And I think he was talking with his wife Christina.
Yep.
On their podcast, and somebody had asked him, maybe it was her, about that, and he was like, "Dude, he's like, if you're out there chasing tens, he's like, you could probably get one. Like if that's all you're after, he's like, but trust me, brother, it's gonna run out." He said he'd been there, you know, you're going after the tens or
I
whatever.
can just imagine Christina sitting right next to him the whole time.
Looking at him like, yeah,
Yeah.
and but he says that's gonna run out.
Yeah.
Like if it's just because they're pretty, he's like, you'll get tired of that.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all you've got,
If you think your woman's good looking, you'll probably think she's good looking forever.
yes, but it's relative though.
Oh, for facts.
So, but also you have to think about this. Let's say you think she's good looking. They still think she's good looking, but you've got somebody new, but they're crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna ditch that. You still be like, looks good, but I don't need that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, looks are definitely not everything. I mean, you definitely want to find someone that is actually a good person
Right.
that fits the values and principles that you have.
And obviously, I think everybody should pick somebody who they feel looks
Good.
good
Yeah, if you don't,
in your
it'll suck.
eyes. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a key
The
to their fulfillment.
physical attraction, brother, is what starts every relationship. Call me a liar. It is. There's no way. Think about it. Nobody goes up to somebody they think's unattractive and say, you know what? That's the one I want to talk to. There's got to be some level of attraction. It has to be. There's no way. There's no
What
way.
are the levels though?
Oh, they're different for everybody. What do you mean?
Like I'm curious now. Now that we're on this, the levels of attraction. What like what are they for you? Because everybody's gonna have obviously once again it's subjective, but like what if like, let's just be honest, right? Like if three guys rate and we take an average of one person. Like three guys look at a girl and we take the average of their vote on a scale from 1 to 10
Yes.
of attractiveness,
Yes.
and they're a 5.
Okay.
Hear me out.
I'm listening, brother.
That's the average. So let's say 2 out of the 3 guys voted that, but there's the third guy says it's an 8. She's an 8,
Beautiful.
right? And then they talk, and then come to find out you love their personality and this and their that. And let's say the attractiveness was their face. You like the way their face looked. They have a pretty face.
Yeah, I got you.
Is is that a level, right?
Just the face?
Yeah. Or do you think it has to be more than that? Do you think they have to like their body and they have to like all of the other
Well, it depends on what you're into.
attributes?
Like if you're a guy that don't like big butts, then you ain't gonna really think that's that attractive.
Right.
Now I will say this though.
That's what I'm saying is subjective.
This is 100% true. 99. Only one thing is 100% is Jesus Christ. Uh, the looks will literally change the more you know the person. As crazy as that sounds,
No, yeah, I agree with that.
you could go say you were setting a level and you were like, I want to have a 5 out of 10 is the lowest I want to go to the point where I just don't think they're that attractive. That's not mean. That's just you're just not attracted to the person.
Right.
And then you go and talk to them and you figure out they have a great personality and it could possibly bring them up to an 8
So okay,
or even a 10.
let's touch on that because
Yeah.
that's for real. And
And it can go vice versa
it can go the other way.
for sure.
So like you can start to get to know a person and it decline.
Yes.
I agree 100%, but also I would like to touch on the positive aspect. I think I've experienced that personally.
Yeah.
Where, well, and also I thought this person was very attractive. We'll say a 7. That's a pretty good number, I think. But the longer I got to know them, the more I was attracted to this person, just solely off of the conversations we were
Yes.
having and the care that I felt. I felt like this individual cared about me on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And because of that, I genuinely was more attracted to them, and that number I would say went up.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So for all intents and purposes, I would say let's say they were a 6 to start out,
Yep.
and by the end I said they're an 8, 9.
Yeah.
Because they were such a good person.
Yeah. No, I agree with you for a fact.
But also 100% could go the other way. I mean,
Oh yeah. It can definitely.
you can dig yourself a hole.
That's it.
Yeah.
And cover yourself up. But no, that's for sure, dude. I mean, everything is so different. Everybody tries to put a standard on everything, but
Yeah.
to every individual person, it's going to be a tad bit different.
Yeah, literally that the saying to each their own, that's like 100% true.
Right.
To each their own. Because I would say there's certain things, I mean you've covered this, that are facts.
Yep.
But then there's other things that are subjective.
Yes, like there's only 2 genders. That's a fact. Subjective is you have a girl that acts like a boy and is a tomboy. It's subjective. She acts like a boy. She's not a boy. She's a girl.
I don't know if that's subjective. There may be a different word for that.
I don't know.
Subjective, I think, would be like how you view it. That's a better point. How they view it.
That's false. You're wrong. We should start calling out people that's wrong.
What I'm saying is like the word subjective. I think using it from your perspective. Does that make sense? So like if you think they're a tomboy, but they think that they're dressed how they want to be.
Yeah, subjective.
Yeah.
No, I'm agreeing with you. So,
Oh, I thought you were just saying I was wrong.
no.
Oh, you're just saying call out people who are wrong.
Oh yeah, call out people.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
There's a lot of stuff now that I think it needs to be. Did you see that thing I posted about the "Am I Racist" thing?
I didn't get to look into it any. I just seen the screenshot.
So there is a guy that is out there that made a movie called What is a Woman?" And he's literally going around asking people what a woman is, and nobody will tell him because there's so many different women,
Yeah.
I guess now. And he made another one called "Am I Racist?"
Yeah.
And it has 99% good reviews from the public. 99.
Without even watching it, I'm willing to bet
It's probably good.
I could see some of the stuff he's going to cover.
He's going to say the same thing I've been saying forever. We're all shades of brown. Get over it. That's it.
Well, have you seen? There was a guy who I watched, and I really loved his videos. He would dress up in a sombrero and
Yeah, I
like
remember
a
that.
poncho, and he would put like a fake mustache on even.
Yep.
And he would go and he would walk around like a campus, and people would like harass this guy.
Oh, they'd be mad.
And they'd be like, dude, that's cultural appropriation, and you're stealing like Mexican stuff from the Mexican people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's Hispanic culture. And so then he goes and finds Hispanic people.
Yeah, and they don't care.
And he goes, "What do you think about this?" And they're like, "That's awesome. I'm glad to see you wearing our cultural clothing." Same thing. I seen a guy. He puts on a traditional Chinese outfit. Goes to Chinatown. They love him. They're like, "That's awesome. I'm glad you're representing our culture well." Goes to a college once again, and people
Right.
are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're wearing that." And it's like, bro, I was literally just with the people from this culture who thought it was awesome or liked it or thought it was funny, whatever their reason was, but it wasn't a negative one. And here you are, not even of that culture, or maybe you claim to be. Like I did a DNA test, right? And I've got
1% black.
Actually, it's less than 1% now. I got some more results in, which is sad. But yeah, at one point I had 1% Senegal. I'm not gonna go around claiming I'm black. That's
Dude,
crazy.
you're this much closer to saying the N-word.
But that's not, and so I'm not gonna go around telling people what they can and can't do
Is it?
because I got 1%.
What if you had a black person come up to you and said, "I'm white"?
Congratulations.
No, they're wrong.
I'm not. Well, I guess it depends on the mood I'm in. Like I don't know if I feel like debating that with that person.
Oh yeah, and if they show me like paperwork that says, "Hey, they got a little bit of white in them," but it goes back to just what I just said. We're all shades of brown.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
Here's the thing that fires me up, and we're about to have to get off the pod because time's going. But I do want to talk this out real quick. Is there a way?
Yeah.
To lower racism in total? Because I listened, this stat's nuts. There was a question asked that said, "How often do you think about racism or races in general?" You know what black people's was? 70%. You know what Asian people's was? 50. You know what white people's was?
What?
15%. How often do me and you sit here and think about racism?
But you know what they call that, right?
White privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can suck my wiener. Sorry for the language. I never sit here and think that my privilege is better than anybody else's. You don't. Every white person I know doesn't. Every black person I know doesn't. Why is it? Are these people that really think it's a thing? Are they? Do they really think it and they feel and they're like actually affected about it, or are they trying to start something?
I don't even know if it's that. It may be people who are cooking up stuff that's not even like
What
like
argument?
really.
What argument do you have now to not liking a certain race? Like,
I don't know. Some people just have hate in their heart. I will say that. I mean,
I,
there are people out there who just hate people. I think.
in your opinion, how do you think you change that, or can you?
I think the people who are dead set on it currently, I don't know if we can change, but I think we're really in a
And
transitional period currently for people's mindsets.
how much of it is caused by the people that claim everybody's racist?
So that's part of it, and that's another thing that I think Morgan Freeman, you can look up the clip yourself,
Morgan Freeman
talks about. Somebody asked him about it, and I think he literally said, "Quit like talking about it in a way that is giving it power."
Right. No, I agree with you.
And that's something that really spoke to me, right? Is yeah, if we're going to talk about it in a way that makes it to where one side or the other can like claim something, then you're just feeding the fire. But if you just like, cool,
Why?
it's just
Why?
cool, like you're you, I'm me.
Why is it that the people that talk about racism the most are one claim not to be racist? What? Why are you talking about it then?
So that's a huge one right there. What's his name? Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
Yeah. So I seen him
Dude's a
talking one
pimp.
time, and somebody literally comes up and asks a racial question, and he was like, "Well, are you racist?"
Exactly.
And they go, "No, of course not," and they get all defensive. And he goes, "Well, you just," and I don't even remember. I don't even know if it was white people. It might have been a different race, but either way,
Yeah.
nonetheless, they literally asked a question that was going to like negatively impact or put down a race altogether.
Yes.
The whole race together, and talk negatively about him. And he was like, and so he asked him that, and they're like, "No, whoa, I'm not a racist. You're a racist for asking me that."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, I never brought up the topic. You
You
did.
did.
And that's a
Exactly.
very
And they
racist thing to ask.
and they hate that.
They hate that.
Like
Oh yeah,
if you want to cure racism, why are you going around asking people if they're racist? You're
yeah.
literally trying to spark up some kind of controversy.
Right. You're looking for a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the whole. I can't believe I always like bring stuff back to what I know about, but it also makes a lot of sense. But that's like the whole people looking for a gunfight thing.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and that does nobody any good. Nobody really wants to be in a gunfight.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to. I guess some people do.
Yeah.
No, nobody really wants to be out here causing hate towards one another.
There's another guy, and it might have been Charlie Kirk, but I think it was another guy. But a black guy walked up to him,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Would you think anything about hiring me if I was a black pilot?" And he goes, "Are you a good pilot?" And he goes, "I think I'm all right." He goes, "If you went and took a test with 20 white guys and you got first, you'd be my pilot." Has nothing to do with race.
Right.
And it was another same thing about your sexuality, whatever. How do I say it?
Sexuality.
Sexuality. Thank you. When you come up to somebody, I don't come up to you and say, "My name's Dylan and I'm straight." Don't
Right.
even throw that last part in. I don't care if you're gay. Not at all.
No.
You don't have to come up to me and say, "Hey, my name is Chad and I'm gay."
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
If you're a good person, that's fine by me. Don't label yourself as that. I think that's one of the biggest problems going into anybody that has a big issue. The first way you're going to get out of that issue is I'm not coming up to you and saying, "John, my name's Dylan and I'm an alcoholic.
Right.
Don't claim yourself to be that. Say, I'm a different person. I'm going to do something different. I don't want to be known as the alcoholic. Walk up and say, hi, my name's Dylan and I'm a recovering alcoholic. That's even better than saying I walk
Yeah,
up and
that's
I'm an
awesome.
alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you don't have. There's so much stuff. People think they need to identify with so many things now. Brother, the only thing you need to identify is yourself. You don't have to add all that special stuff in there.
You know, and something I want to touch on just real quick. I know we're running out of time, but I seen a clip. There was two ladies talking on a podcast. I wish I could cite the podcast so y'all could go at least watch the clip. Um, I don't know the sexuality of one woman, but I know the other one was gay.
Yeah.
Because they were discussing it, and one lady asked the other. She asked the person who was gay, you know, how do you feel about all the like really out there stuff that goes on right now? She said, I hate it.
Yeah.
She said, I never wanted to be in the spotlight. She's like she remembered whenever being gay was like a thing that people like kind of did on their own. Like they kept it to themselves.
That's right.
Just like my own sexuality, right? Like
Exactly.
I keep it close to my chest. Right?
Exactly.
And so these people originally wanted the same thing. They wanted to be able to choose what they wanted and to be able to have that in private. And then when they meet you at wherever, at the job even, it doesn't affect their work life
No.
because that's their personal life.
Right.
That's who they are on their own time.
Right.
Right. And they're not going to come up to you out in public and be like, hey, is this seat taken? By the way, I'm gay.
Exactly.
They
I don't care.
Right. I don't care. Just ask us a seat taken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so this individual was saying like they hate all this stuff that's going on right now because it's like I don't want to be associated with that. Look, I'm gay. I like who I like. That's on its own topic.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to base me off of something based off of the work I'm doing, you know, and this and that, not off of, you know, like base it off the things I'm doing in the in more of a public light,
Yeah.
right? Like you could Google somebody and be like, oh, they work here and this and that, you know, and you can find out stuff about them,
Right.
not based off of what one of my preferences are as an individual.
Right.
Nobody cares.
No, nobody cares at all.
So
At the end of the day, the only person that actually cares is probably somebody that's doing worse for society than they are doing good.
well, and also, I think this is something you
That's
kind of
the
covered.
that's the real racist people out
It's
there.
the people who care are the ones who are trying to stir it up.
That's it.
They want that drama, dog.
That's
They're
it.
going to stir the pot.
That's it. And guys, at the end of the day, if you get anything from this podcast, just be a good person.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple and it sounds so cliche, but it's actually that simple.
It's
Like-
also a challenge. I'll challenge you.
Yeah.
I'll challenge anybody. The next time you think about bad mouthing somebody behind their back or to their face, I could care less which one it is. Choose the high road. You know,
Yeah.
take the better option.
Yeah.
And think, you know what? It doesn't even matter.
And if there's, let's put it this way, if there is something that is concerning you so much, say that I knew a guy and he was of whatever race, and he really had a problem with white people, really did. I would encourage him to come talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this for anybody out there.
Yeah, let's take it a step further. Let's even say like bringing it back full circle. If you are voting one way or the other, and you are going down a rabbit hole, now hope there's certain people who obviously, I mean, it may be a bad idea to put them together.
Yep.
But if you're so far one way that you like hate somebody, how about talk to somebody who's
That's
on the
right.
other side of the fence?
That's right. That's a good idea.
You know,
Yeah.
that should be for everything.
Yeah.
If you don't like a white person to the point that you hate them,
Go talk to
maybe
one.
you should talk to one first.
That's right.
The same thing goes for somebody who's voting one way or the other.
Good point. Good point. Because then, in the end, I would bet if you're a good person and that's a good person, you just think completely different for some reason. In the end, you'll probably shake hands and
Yeah.
you'll be like, you know, all this junk doesn't matter. It's like whether you're black, you're white, you're Asian, Kamala beats president, Trump's president, if everybody is at the same mindset
Yeah.
of just try to love everyone,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change.
I feel like everybody thinks I've become this hippie because like I chose to grow up my hair long
And smoking weed.
No,
Just
no,
kidding, just
no.
kidding.
Never done drugs. I can claim that for a fact. Uh, well, like I've gone to the dentist, but never done them for my own personal gain. And I go around talking about, everybody should love everybody.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious. I'm not some kind of hippie. I
I
do
agree.
really believe that.
I agree.
And the long hair was my own personal choice.
Yep. And Charles Manson was part of the CIA. If anybody's out there, if you do have issues, like John said, go talk to somebody about it. If you got issues with us, throw them in the comments.
Yeah, or if you want to talk to us about one of those issues,
Yeah, it's $5.
jump in the
Just kidding.
comments.
Just kidding. Yeah, no, jump in the comments. We love this stuff. I have to make it funny at the end, or I'm just gonna sit here and just be thinking about deep stuff all day long. But hope everybody has a great day, has a blessed day. Is there anything else you want to say?
Nope. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully we're back on schedule at this point, and we'll see y'all soon. Later, guys.